What's up, everyone? It is Jason Jedi. Welcome back to my channel. In this video, I want to share with you some things to think about if you're dealing with crazy requests when you're DJing at your upcoming event. It doesn't matter what you're DJing, what type of event you're DJing, where you're DJing. Chances are, if you're doing this, and whether you're new to the game or you've been in it for a while, you deal with people that are coming up to you and they're either writing stuff down on a napkin, they're using that crazy request app on their phones, they're texting you, they're messaging you, they're trying to throw money at you, they're asking you for placement of a song in the night that you are controlling as the DJ. It doesn't matter what type of DJ you are, it doesn't matter how skilled you are. I've done this for a long time, and I still deal with people at times asking for music to be played at events, and everyone has their own approach, their own thought process, and their own philosophy on should you play requests, should you not play requests, whatever. I saw this video that came up on my Instagram timeline of a girl running up to the DJ booth in a club-like atmosphere, throwing her request up on the phone, throwing it to the DJ where he kind of dismissed her. Then she came right back and did it again. He ends up taking the phone, throwing it on the side of the DJ booth. His person in the DJ booth came over, got the phone, and threw it out on the dance floor. And it got me thinking about this. Ironically, that same day, I did a wedding where a family member of the bride came up and asked me to play a song. What he didn't know is that the bride specifically told me under no circumstances am I allowed to play the song that this man was going to ask. She already knew he was going to be doing it and said under no circumstances can he make a request or can you play whatever he's going to ask for. I don't want him to do it. It's awkward. It's creepy. I just don't want it at my event. Sure enough, he came up. He asked me for the song. I politely dismissed it. At the end of the wedding, he came back up to let me know how, if I want to be successful in this industry, I should have music that he asked for and I should have played it. Meanwhile, he asked for it in the last hour of a party that was at level 17, and it was absolutely epic. The couple was beyond happy. It was a rager. It was so dope. And here's a quick photo of kind of like one of the big moments of the night. So how do you deal with requests? And whether you're new to the game, whether you've been doing this for a while, your process might be different, but I wanted to share with you things to think about or things that I think about when I'm working a party. Now, I have to say this up front and very candidly, there's not one way or one only process to deal with this. I think there's a lot of variables that must be taken into consideration when you're dealing with people asking for music or asking anything of you while you're DJing. My process when I'm working in the nightlife world or the bar life world or the day life world is very, very different than when I'm working at private events. And candidly, when I'm playing a bar or I'm playing a club or I'm playing a day club, I rarely will honor requests. I just don't do it. Whereas when I'm playing in the private event space, I am very open to listening to what people are asking for because maybe they're aware of a situation or a song or something that could be a catalyst for me to twist into the overall experience that could take it to the whole next level. And that's ideally what you want to do if you're a private event DJ. Now, the process that I use for kind of like figuring this all out shifts around on a couple of variables. Obviously, the type of event that I'm doing, what I was hired to do, the people that are in front of me at the event, and of course, the direction from the guest of honor or the person that hired me for that event. And I think that's really a big tip here, not to start things off with a monster tip, but the first tip is if you are doing private events, and whether it's a teen event or a wedding or a corporate event it doesn't matter. None of it matters. One of the most important questions you need to pose to the person that's hiring you to provide entertainment for the event that you are DJing is, do you want me or do you not want me to honor requests? Yes or no? I think the outcome for that question will give you a lot of insight to, the couple maybe, or the party planner. It gives you insight to kind of the framework of how they want you to deal with some of the people if they come up to you. Now, events are all different. And in the private event space, the way you deal with requests at a teen event versus a corporate event or a wedding are very, very different. There's also more variables that need to kind of come into consideration. Who's asking for the request? What are they even asking for? And why are they asking for it? What was the song? Will it fit within the foundation or framework for what you're trying to accomplish or what you're trying to do for that couple? If the answer is no, then you need to have a plan on how you're going to get yourself out of this, because you just need to be prepared. A couple of tips of things that I like to think about is not just who's in front of me or what they're asking for, but a couple of tips I think that are practical and anyone who's watching this video needs to think about before they get to the next party that they DJ is, if you are there with an assistant or another DJ, or you have a lighting person, or you have anyone else in your like small circle, you can apply this in the nightlife world too with people that you kind of roll with, is keeping everyone on the same page. I think that's super important. If a couple that hired you to do their wedding is saying no requests from any of my guests, I don't care what anyone asked for, we're not playing it, then that's something that not only you need to understand, but your team needs to understand before you start that event. If they are open to requests within a certain parameter or framework, it's also super important that everyone understands. Now, you never want to throw a guest of honor or someone that hired you under the bus, and you don't ever want to roll over top of them with kind of like shutting things down. But there is a polite process or a courteous process or a respectful process that you can put in play with your team so everyone is on the same page and you're delivering the same message to anyone that's coming up to you asking for some poop song that you're not going to play. I think it's super important that anyone behind your DJ booth, when someone makes their way on up, and it doesn't matter if they're intoxicated, if they are rude, if they are polite, if they are nice, if they are smoking hot or whatever, I think it is super important that you are respectful and they are respectful, that they are polite and that they are courteous. Sir, ma'am, how are you? What's up, guys? How can I help you? Oh, are you taking requests? It depends. What do you want to hear? Hey, that's a cool song. It fits within the framework. I'll see what we can do. Or if it's something that doesn't really like fit, maybe ask them, why do you want to hear that song? Is there a story that goes on with that song? Like, that's an interesting choice, not something that I would have picked for this couple or this event. Is there any reason that you want to hear it? Oh, it's my wedding song and it's my anniversary. Oh, totally cool. I understand. I'll do my best to do it, to get it on. I hope you're having a great time tonight. Thank you so much. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. It is super important that you kind of have these wraps down so that you can deal with people in a pleasant way, regardless of who they are. I think some words of caution that I would advise anyone that's kind of newer to the game is, once you start taking requests from people, sometimes and oftentimes it's like opening up the floodgates in terms of basically allowing people to come up and keep coming up and keep coming up and asking for requests. Now, in certain circumstances, it is what it is, and it's what you're going to need to deal with as a DJ. Something that people sometimes don't even think about, but it's part of the job that we work in. I think it's important that you keep everyone in your working team or your inner circle or the people that are around you on the same page if you are going to be honoring requests. I think another piece of advice I would give anyone is, never agree to playing any song, especially at any time. Sir, we'll get it on for you next. Never, 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 never say that unless you are 100% going to play that song absolutely next. I think when you deal with parents or immediate family members, it's very different than when you're dealing with the plus ones of someone that works in their office that might not be connected to the inner circle and might not be aware of the vibe, the atmosphere, or what the couple is really into. I think it is super important for every DJ to not only go over what the expectations are for every event that you do, but even to have a quick conversation about music, what you're into, what you're not into, what your family's into, how old people are. I think these questions all help you kind of build a profile for when you're doing events. When I look at, a couple in their mid-20s, I look at their parents and I try to reverse engineer around about how old they are, so I can select music in my programming that fits the overall vibe of not just the younger guests, but the older guests. And if anyone's ever familiar with like Janai mashups and remixes and stuff, a lot of the edits that I create bring older songs back to life with new vibes of stuff that's killing it in the club or on the radio or whatever. And that's kind of been my staple for as long as I've been a DJ. Now, everyone has a different process, and my thoughts are playing a request, as long as it's within the area, within the foundation of where you're going to be, is a great thing to do, as long as it doesn't interrupt the flow of the party. One poorly placed song, however, could disrupt hours of meticulous programming, preparation, and of course, the foundation of a good time that's going on at an event. No one wants to be a DJ that causes the seas to part on a packed dance floor where everyone goes to their seats, everyone goes to the bar, everyone stops dancing, everyone turns around and looks at you. No one wants that to happen. And does it happen? Yeah, it happens for everyone at some point during their career. And I think the more experienced you are and the better you get and the more in touch you get with the crowds that you're playing for, the less likely that happens at events. And candidly, when people come up and ask for songs, generally there's a reason why they're asking for it. So if something is kind of like raising that flag to you as like, hey, this is not something that's going to work for this couple, this party, the direction I've been given by the person who hired me for this event, then ask the person when they're asking for the song really quickly, why do you want to hear that? Like, is there a reason that I don't know about regarding the couple? And see what they have to say and listen to what they have to say. If it's not you, make sure your inner circle is trained with how to deal with this and why to ask, so that when someone speaks to one of your assistants or one of your support people at your event, they're able to say, hey, this couple wants to hear this song, or this person wants to hear this song, and that's like the uncle of whoever. Maybe it's like a family thing that they do at all the events, and maybe the couple didn't tell you about it. And maybe before you play it, you kind of circle back to the person that hired you and say, hey, do you want me to play this song? Like, Uncle Jim came over and asked me for that. Now, do you have the ability of doing that at every event? Absolutely not. But these are the things that you need to think about and process, because what you want is at the end of your party for people to leave and to be pumped and happy, and you want them to have all enjoyed themselves in your company and in your presence while you're doing that event. You never want people to leave an event and like basically talking shit about how you didn't play their one song, even if it was a terrible song, because you promised that you were going to play it and you never actually played it. Now, everyone has different motivation. Everyone has different ways of doing things. These are the things that I like to think about, and I'd love to hear from you. So if you have something that you'd like to share with me or my YouTube community on how you deal with requests or how you deal with people coming up and asking you for songs and whether you play it or not, I'd love to hear from you in the comments field down below. So do me a quick solid. Share with me, do you like to honor requests? Do you not do it? What's your process for kind of dealing with people that are coming up to you? Obviously, the circumstances and the framework change depending on who you are, depending where you're located, depending on the types of events that you're doing, and your style as a DJ. And anything you can do to kind of elaborate on all of those parameters would be very, very helpful for me as I read through the comments. Anyway, this is my process. This is what I do to set myself up with dealing with requests so that we don't land in a space that comes off negative, or maybe that we miss something. This is the way that we try to deal with things in a professional manner at SCE and at my personal events, and I hope you enjoyed it. I want to hear from you, so drop in the comments down below and be on the lookout for more content dripping here on this channel. If you're new to the channel, I'd be grateful for you to hit that sub love button down below, or even if you've enjoyed this video, to smash the thumbs up button down below. I drop videos all the time here on this channel, really with the drive to help inspire people that do what we do as DJs to be better, to be bigger, and to grow a successful company. That's what this channel is all about. And if you feel that and you're new here, I'd be grateful for a sub. Anyway, be on the lookout for more content dripping right here on this channel in the days, weeks, and months ahead. And I truly appreciate you guys sticking with me to the very end. My name is Jason Janai, and thanks again for watching. Take care.